Good morning from Avon, Ohio. It's Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and simulcast on Flow Sports. Today the Otters return to a house of horrors, Mercy Health Stadium, where the Otters were swept just 2 short weeks ago here outside of Cleveland. Evansville trying to flip the script here in their final series against the Lake Erie Crushers. Good morning, everyone. I'm Griffin Epstein here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Hope you're not skipping work to tune into the broadcast, but don't worry, we won't tell your boss. Glad you're joining us on this Tuesday morning. The Otters kicking off a 6-game road trip. It's the final road trip of the season for the Otters to the East Coast. First here in Northeast Ohio against Lake Erie, and then finishing the road trip this weekend in their all the way on the Atlantic against the New York Boulders. The Otters and the Crushers, well, are quite familiar with each other at this point. This is the 3rd series over the last 3 weeks between these two sides. 9 games over an 18-game stretch here in July between Evansville and Lake Erie. As we mentioned, the Otters returning here to Avon. They do not have good memories here. The Otters were swept, and the offense had its worst series of the year. That was back July 3rd through the 6th. Evansville scored just 6 combined runs. Lost every game, especially the last 2 were both close into the last couple innings, but a couple late runs by Lake Erie off the Otters bullpen ended up winning the series for the Crushers. It's the only time Lake Erie swept a team this season, and it's the only time the Otters have been swept. The Otters did respond last week against the Crushers, taking 2 of 3 from Lake Erie, won the opener 6-4. The Crushers responded, scoring 14 unanswered runs over 3 innings to complete a 7-run comeback over Evansville in the middle game. Crushers won 14-9, but the Otters responded on Thursday night in the series rubber match in front of over 5,000 fans. Evansville shutting out Lake Erie 11-0. So the Otters 2-4 so far in the season series. The Crushers the only team that's beaten the Otters more than 3 times this season. Time to take a look at the starting lineups. We'll start with your Evansville Otters, 34-25 on the season. An Otters win today would put Evansville 10 games over 500 for the first time this year. Kona Quiggle leads off and plays center field for the Otters. Josh Braun will bat second and play left field. Jeffrey Baez bats third and plays right field. Yomar Reyes in the cleanup spot today and playing third base. Dakota Phillips catches and bats fifth. John Dyer playing first base and batting sixth. Bottom 3 in the lineup for the Otters: Ethan Skinder, the second baseman, George Khalil, the shortstop, and Noah Myers rounding out the lineup DHing. Why is the lineup like that for the Otters with Quiggle leading off and Myers in the 9th spot? It's because the Otters facing another lefty pitcher, Yonaker Villalobos, who the Otters saw just last Wednesday, will make his 2nd straight start against the Otters. And Andy McCauley just trying to play the numbers with the Otters lineup. It's worked well of late. Kona Quiggle, who hits lefties very well, leading off, while Noah Myers, who struggled against lefties, the Otters' typical leadoff batter, in the 9th spot for Evansville. On the other side for Lake Erie, their starting lineup, they're 25-35 and tied for last place in the Frontier League West. Jandito Trump, who the Otters have not seen yet this season, will lead off for the Crushers and DH. Jack Racusin, who leads Lake Erie in batting average, will bat second and play third base. Todd Isaacs Jr. bats third and plays left field. Jack Harris playing right field and in the cleanup spot. Kemuel Thomas Rivera bats fifth and plays second base. Jared Watkins batting sixth and playing shortstop. Bottom 3 in the lineup for Lake Erie: Jackson Pritchard, the catcher, Scout Knotts, the first baseman, and Austin White, the center fielder, rounds out the lineup for the Crushers. Yonaker Villalobos, we mentioned the lefty on the mound today for Lake Erie. He's struggled so far this season, 1-3 with a 14.04 ERA, but he did earn his first win against the Otters last week in that wild Wednesday game. He did give up 7 runs, though, but the Lake Erie offense came through. For the Otters, Justin Watland making the start for Evansville. His last start was also against Lake Erie, and what a start it was last Thursday for the righty from Reno, Nevada. 7 shutout innings. Watland only allowed 3 base runners all game and struck out 9 Crushers. He's certainly excited to face the worst scoring offense in the Frontier League West for a 2nd consecutive start. So Watland and Villalobos, the pitching matchup. These guys didn't face each other last week, but both did pitch against these two opponents just last week at Bosse Field. So the Otters looking for their first win here at Mercy Health Stadium after getting swept just 2 weeks ago. They're certainly familiar with the field. They're familiar with the hotel. But it was a rough trip to end a 6-game road trip just 2 weeks ago. Now starting their next 6-game road trip, they're opening here against Lake Erie. It's an early start time. Sunny skies, though slightly hazy due to some continued smoke from Canadian wildfires. Pleasant day for baseball, though, 77 degrees. Humidity not super strong, making it feel a couple degrees warmer. Sun shining brightly through the haze, and just a light wind blowing out to center field at 3 miles per hour. Crushers are taking the field in front of a Kids' Day here at Mercy Health Stadium. Plenty of summer camps in attendance. It's a splash day with a bunch of water-themed activities around the ballpark, and it will be a lot of high-pitched cheering today here at Mercy Health Stadium in Avon. We will break for the national anthem. First pitch is on the other side. The Otters kicking off a 6-game road trip against the Crushers. We'll be right back on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Home is set for baseball on this Tuesday morning from Mercy Health Stadium in Avon, Ohio, just outside of Cleveland. The 4th matchup here between the Otters and the Crushers here in Avon, and the now 7th matchup of 9 this season, all in July, between Evansville and Lake Erie. Yoniker Villalobos on the mound today, the lefty for the Crushers, 6'8", 220. He's a rookie he's not a rookie in the Frontier League. He's a 3rd-year pitcher in the Frontier League, 2 years with Florence, previously a member of the Marlins organization for 4 years, making his 4th start of the season, 14.04 ERA. He's allowed 26 runs this season on 16 and 2/3 innings pitched, but he got the win again against Evansville last Wednesday. Went 5 innings, allowed 7 runs, 9 hits, 2 walks, 2 home runs, just 1 strikeout. Contact pitcher. He allowed those 7 runs in the 2nd inning, but stayed in the game as he got run support and ended up actually working 5 innings and did not allow any runs outside of that 2nd inning. Jackson Pritchard will be catching him today. Scout Knotts is the first baseman. Kemwell Thomas Rivera at second. Jared Watkins at shortstop. Zach Recusin at third base. In the outfield for Lake Erie, Todd Isaacs Jr. in left, Austin White in center, and Jack Harris in right. Ready for baseball. First pitch home to Kona Quiggle is fouled away. We're underway at 11:05 local time here at Mercy Health Stadium. Under sunny and hazy skies, a pleasant morning. The 0-1 bounces low in front of Quiggle. 1 ball and 1 strike. Right along I-90 with plenty of cars and trucks rolling by on this Tuesday morning. 1-1 misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Stands maybe a quarter full, filled with children today on a summer camp splash day here in Avon. 2-1 inside. 3 balls and 1 strike to Quiggle. Villalobos, brown beige glove, sets above the chest and the pitch. Lined into center field. Over to the right is Austin White under the baseball. Reaches up the glove and makes the catch. 1 away. Umpires today, familiar to the Otters. Clark Morgan behind home plate. Reed Hoover at first and Jason Smith at third base. 3-man umpiring crew today in the Frontier League. Josh Braun batting second for the 4th consecutive game for the Otters and making his 5th start of the season. Digs into the right-handed batter's box and takes the first pitch strike. Villalobos is a tall pitcher, 6'8", but does not throw in particularly hard. The 0-1 on the outside corner for a strike, 0-2. Fastball only reaches 90 miles per hour. Fastball, slider, and changeup 3-pitch mix for Villalobos. Kick and a throw. Swing and a miss. Blew the fastball by Brodden. 2 away. 2 quick outs for Villalobos to start here in the top of the first. I'll bring up Jeffrey Baez. Otters in all gray uniforms today. Blue numerals on the back. Otters written in blue script across the chest. Black helmet for the Otters. Lake Erie in some sharp green jerseys today. First pitch home. Baez fouls away straight back. Green toss with the Crusher emblem on the left side. Purple numbers on the back. White pants, white numerals, green socks, and a white cap with a purple brim for Lake Erie. 0-1 on the outside corner. A strike. 0-2 to Baez. There's a lot of colors going on in the Crushers jersey. If you're okay with it, it's a cool look. Feels right for a summer camp ball game on this Tuesday morning. The 0-2 lined left side and foul. A lot of kids in summer camp still filing into the seats. This early Tuesday morning start. 2 outs, nobody on here in the top of the first. 0-2 count to Baez. Villalobos comes home. Inside, it nearly hit Baez and skips back to the backstop. With this early morning start for the Otters, they made the bus ride 7 hours over here to the Cleveland metro area yesterday. Got in a good time around 8 o'clock. Plenty of sleep for the guys. And a rare morning game for the Otters. 1-2. Low. Baez has worked the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes apiece. Villalobos winds, delivers. Swing and a miss by Baez. Lunging at a breaking ball outside. Yoniker Villalobos, last start against the Otters, facing them for a 2nd straight week. He works a clean in order, top of the first inning. We move to the bottom of the first. Justin Watland taking the bump for the Otters. We'll be right back on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
into a deadly annual. It's what they call one love, one taste. And you too will be embracing Maine's Maniac. They're located on Chester Road in Avon. Stop by and grab an order the next time you're hungry.
Welcome back to Mercy Hill Stadium. We move to the bottom of the first inning. Justin Watland taking the bump for the Otters in a scoreless ball game. Watland's second straight start against the Crushers. We mentioned in the pregame show what a last start against Lake Erie last Thursday. His best start of the season. Only allowed 3 base runners over 7 excellent innings, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk on 102 pitches, and earned the victory for the Otters. Since Watland returned from the IL for the Otters, back-to-back wins for him, had earned a win at Tri-City on the road. So Watland pitching some of his best baseball of the year, 6-3 on the season with a 6.11 ERA, 3 quality starts on the year. It's only his 4th start on the road, but a strong start his last time out on the road 2 weeks ago at Tri-City for Watland. His biggest key, keeping the ball down. Watland has allowed a team-high 11 home runs on the season. Jandito Trump, ready DH, will lead things off for Lake Erie. Watland fires a first pitch home as a strike. Watland's day underway here in the bottom of the first. No score between the Otters and the Crushers. Black glove for Watland today. Sets at the belt. Ready on the left side of the rubber, delivers. Fouled away by Trump. 0-2. Long look in for Watland. Big kick and delivery. Breaking ball is low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 4-pitch mix for the ready from Reno, Nevada. Fastball, changeup, cutter, and slider. One and 2. Inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Watland had everything working last Thursday against Lake Erie, and a lot of the Otters employees and staff that were around to watch Watland last season. So that's the Justin Watland we know. 2-2, swing and a miss. Trump lunging at a breaking ball down in the turf. 1 away. Dakota Phillips catching Watland today. 5th time Phillips and Watland have been the pitcher-catcher battery. It's brought to you by The Answer Auto Repairs. You can find all your battery needs at 2319 North Green River Road in Evansville. First pitch to the ready, Zach Ricusin, and it's fouled right off the screen. All artificial turf field here at Mercy Hill Stadium. 400 to straightaway center and 325 down both the left field and right field lines. This is a pitcher-friendly ballpark. The 0-1, breaking ball is high, 1 ball and 1 strike. One home from Watland. Is grounded left side and foul to the left of the third base back. Around Watland and Phillips, Yomar Reyes at third, George Khalil at short, Ethan Skinder at second, and John Dyer at first base. Rick Houston's going to call time. Josh Broughton is playing left field today. Kona Quiggle in center, and Jeffrey Baez in right. How about Broughton? Four of his first 5 starts of the season in different positions. He's made already 4 different position starts. The 1-2, swing and a miss by Rick Houston. Another breaking ball falling off the plate, and another swing and miss by the Crushers. Too quickly away for Watland here in the bottom of the first. We're scoreless. Left fielder Todd Isaacs Jr. to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. Another righty batter here for this struggling Crushers offense. First pitch home. Misses high, 1-0. Crushers have mustered just 5 runs over their last 4 games. Watland home. Isaacs Jr. pops one up right side, and that ball headed out of play and bouncing into the concourse. Lake Erie scoring offense the worst in the league, averaging under 4 runs a game. dead last. 237 team batting average, just 14th. Isaacs Jr. shows bunt and lays a great bunt down the line. Barehand by Reyes. Throw to first, not in time. Isaacs Jr. runs it out, a bunt base hit. Not the first time we've seen that this season from Todd Isaacs Jr. The speedy outfielder has given the Otters fits in the 5 games he's played against them this season. He had a bunt base hit against the Otters at Bosse Field just last week. And he puts a beautiful bunt down the third base line to be the first base runner on for either side. No chance for Reyes. Did his best, but perfectly placed bunt and a guy with good speed. Jack Harris, the ready batter, takes a first pitch low for a ball. Isaacs Jr. at first base with 2 outs. 1-0 count to Harris with 1 on and 2 outs. Pitch home, inside, 2 balls and no strikes. No score here in the bottom of the first inning. Just underway. The Otters kicking off a 6-game road trip. Lined left side, and is it a fair ball? It is, over the third base bag and into the Crushers bullpen. Isaacs Jr. is held at third. It's a double down the line for Jack Harris. Right over the third base bag and into the Crushers bullpen. Brodin did a good job cutting it off, which holds Isaacs Jr. at third base. 88 miles per hour off the bat of Harris. Back-to-back hits for the Crushers, and they have an opportunity for early runs here in the first. Isaacs Jr. at third, Harris at second with 2 outs. Kemuel Thomas Rivera the batter. Watland looking in and throws. Swing and a miss. A lot of change-ups early for Watland, falling out of the zone, and the Crushers have been fooled. 0-1 count to Thomas Rivera, hitting .223 on the year, swings and misses. Another breaking ball in the turf. Watland a strike away from escaping the first inning jam. The 0-2 breaking ball is high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Isaacs Jr. at third, Harris at second. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Breaking ball in on the hands. Kemuel Thomas Rivera strikes out. Watland strikes out the side in the first inning, works around 2 base hits for a scoreless first. 1 inning complete from Avon. No score between the Otters and the Crushers on the Evansville Otters Digital Network.
Lake Erie Crushers. Off the top of the second inning for Evansville, third baseman number 28, Reyes.
Back in Avon, Ohio, top of the second inning. Scoreless between the Otters and the Crushers. Omar Reyes leads off the top of the second inning for the Otters against Yonaker Villalobos, the lefty from Venezuela. Ready on the bump, delivers. Reyes lobs one into center field. It's down for a base hit. Off the inside of the bat of Reyes, he didn't make the greatest contact, but as is the virtue of Yomar Reyes, few batters stronger in the Frontier League. Got enough of the bat on it for the Otters' first base runner of the day, a leadoff base hit in the second. Reyes at first, and it brings up the lefty catcher Dakota Phillips. Moved back to the 5 spot with the Otters facing a lefty pitcher today. Villalobos delivers. Phillips pops one up. Look out on the concourse. It bounces foul left side. Some kids running after it on this summer camp splash day here in Avon. They've got water guns around the ballpark, and they're shooting kids with them. 0-1 is low, 1-1. There's a few areas around the ballpark with some water apparatuses set up, some hoses and sprinklers for kids to run around in and cool off on this hot summer morning. A mini water park, they're calling it today. The 1-1 swung on, a one-hopper to the second baseman. Thomas Rivera throws to second base, and it's dropped by Jared Watkins. Reyes is safe at second, and the Otters have 2 on with nobody out. Well, Thomas Rivera made a great play to field it off a hop, working to his left, but couldn't hold on to the ball. Or he held on to the ball and then tossed it to Watkins, who just dropped it out of the glove. Jared Lemieux, the Crushers manager, out to debate with the third base umpire, Jason Smith. I think Lemieux thinking that the ball was dropped on the transfer from glove to hand, but I think Watkins just had it pop right out of his glove as he tried to field it, step on the bag, and start to turn the double play. He got ahead of himself. So Phillips will reach it first on an E6. Reyes to second, 2 on and nobody out for the ready John Dyer. First pitch home, Dyer shows bunt, pulls it back. It misses low, 1-0. The Crushers have had some costly infield and outfield errors against the Otters in the 6 games these teams have played so far, and yet Lake Erie has still won 4 of the first 6. Dyer shows bunt again and lays a perfect one down the third base line, bobbled by the catcher Pritchard. Throws to first, it bounces off the glove of the first baseman Nuts and into right field. Reyes will score, 1-0 Otters. The gloves are not working early for Lake Erie this morning. Dyer laid down a great bunt down the third base line. It rolled just outside of the brown and just stopped on the turf. Pritchard had to make a tough play. Dyer looked like he'd be out, but Knotts just couldn't reel in the baseball. So Reyes scores, Phillips all the way to third, and Dyer's safe at first with still nobody out. 1-0 Evansville. Ready, Ethan Skinder up. He shows bunt and pulls it back and takes inside. Two errors by the Crushers here in the top of the second inning. 1-0 from Villalobos. He is high. 2 balls and no strikes to Skinder. Phillips at third, Dyer at first. Otters lead 1-0. What a bizarre top of the second inning. 2-0, fouled straight back. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, the second inning was the inning for the Otters against Villalobos last Wednesday when these teams faced off, as Evansville scored 7 runs in the inning. They hit 2 home runs. It was tied for the best inning all year for the Otters, and yet in just a couple innings that lead disappeared and the Otters would go on to lose. 2-1. The inside corner for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Skinder. They're giving the second error to the catcher Pritchard. So an E2 after an E6. Back-to-back errors after the base hit to lead off the inning for Reyes. 2-2 count to Skinder. Villalobos working out of the stretch. Tall green socks today. He comes home. Skinder pops it up foul. Otters nearly won the series finale here at Mercy L Stadium a couple weeks ago on multiple infield errors by the Crushers. Tied that game, but Lake Erie would score the go-ahead run in the bottom of the 8th and complete the only sweep of the year of the Otters just 2 weeks ago. The 2-2. Popped up left side. Back is the shortstop Watkins, way back into center field, holding up the glove and makes the catch. Nowhere for Phillips to go at third. He stays put. The first out, much needed of the inning for Villalobos and the Crushers. Phillips at third, Dyer still at first, 1 out, and the Australian shortstop George Khalil coming to the plate. Reyes led off the inning with a single up the middle. Phillips looked like he grounded into a tailor-made double play ball, but Kemuel Thomas Rivera's toss to Jared Watkins popped out of the glove of the shortstop as he tried to step on the second base bag. Everyone's safe. And then Dyer laid down a great bunt down the third base line. Pritchard's throw took Knotts a little bit off the bag, and the ball popped out of his glove for everyone to be safe. Villalobos readying to face Khalil, but he steps off and throws back to first. Dyer back in, just stepping back on the bag. Dyer at first, Phillips at third. 1-0 Otters here in the top of the second. Pitch home. Khalil shows bunt and lays a great bunt down the third base line. Still rolling. Picked up by Villalobos. No play. Phillips scores from third. A safety squeeze executed to perfection by the Otters. 2-0. Well, Khalil, one of the better bunters on the Otters, and he laid a beaut down the third base line. Hard enough down the line that Pritchard had no play. Rakusin playing back at third couldn't get there, and all Villalobos could do was pick up the ball and live to fight another day. Phillips scoring from third, Dyer to second, Khalil at first, the batter the lefty Noah Myers. First pitch, in for a strike. A bunt base hit for Khalil. Little small ball by the Otters here in the top of the second inning, and they've gone up 2-0. 0-1 is at the knees for a strike going two. The Otters taking an early lead. They barely led it all in the first series here between these two teams. Got shut out in the opener 2 weeks ago here at Mercy House Stadium. 0-2 at the knees, strike three call. Myers strikes out looking, 2 away. Myers down on strikes, back to the top of the order, and another lefty Kona Quiggle. Dyer at second, Khalil at first. The Otters only scored 6 total runs against the Crushers in the first series here in Avon. They have 2 across here in the top of the second. They've been helped out by 2 Lake Erie Airs. First pitch home to Quiggle, right down the middle, strike. Reyes and Khalil hits, Phillips and Dyer reaching on Airs, giving the Otters an early 2-0 lead. 0-1, line left side and out of play. It's only the third Otters game of the season to start before noon local time. They're 2-0 so far in morning games. Their only 2 morning games are all the way back in late May at New Jersey. 10:35 local time start. Otters won both of those games. They extended their season-long win streak up to 8 games. Those 2 morning wins. 0-2, high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's the first game to even start before 5 o'clock for the Otters since the July 4th game actually here against the Crushers, which was a 2 o'clock local start time, the middle game of that 3-game series. 1-2, high again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 30th pitch of the game for Villalobos, trying to escape the third inning, or escape the second inning, I should say. Both runs that have come across unearned. The southpaw delivers. Lined up the middle, for a base hit. Dyer sent around. He will score. Khalil hustling into third ahead of a tag. Quiggle will go down to second on the throw to third and is in safely. 3-0 Otters. RBI base hit for Quiggle. Advances to second on the throw. Dyer scoring and Khalil working the extra 90 feet to get to third. The throw from White went to third, and Quiggle, a great base runner, took the extra 90 feet to go to second. A 3 spot put up by the Otters here in the second. I'll bring up Josh Brodden with runners on the corners and still 2 outs. Righty batter struck out to Villalobos the first time. Pitch home, misses low, 1-0. With the house of horrors so far this season for the Otters at Mercy Hill Stadium, they badly needed a good start to the week. Gotten that here in the top of the second. 3 hits and 2 errors by the Crushers. Pitch home, swing and a miss, 1-1. Villalobos throws. Brodden hacks it away and foul behind home plate and headed out of the stadium and towards I-90. Not a lot of hard hit balls. Not really. Quiggles was certainly the hardest hit ball of the inning. But the Otters working some small ball, good base running, and some help from the Crushers defense to 3 runs in the second. 1-2. Breaking ball on the outside corner for strike 3 called. Villalobos with a strikeout looking at Brodden to end the inning, but the Otters played 3 runs. Reyes, Khalil, and Quiggle all had base hits. The Otters lead 3-0, or 3-0 as we move to the bottom of the third inning, on their bottom of the second inning on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Welcome back to Avon, Ohio, Mercy Hill Stadium. The Otters off to a great start to this Tuesday morning. They lead 3-0, a 3-run top of the second inning. 2 errors by the Crushers, 3 hits for the Otters. Evansville, an early 3-run lead. They never led by more than a run in their 3-game series here against the Crushers just 2 weeks ago. This is quite a good sign as the Otters looking to get their first win of the season here in Avon. Justin Watland worked around 2 hits in the first inning and struck out the side. He'll face the lefty all-star shortstop Jared Watkins to lead off the second. First pitch home from Watland in for a strike. Watland's got great run support in his first 2 starts since the all-star break, the 0-1. Popped up high in the air down the right field line. Baez looking over. This ball is gone. Just kept on carrying down the right field line. Watkins leaves the ballpark with a solo home run. Just a high liner down the right field line. The ball would carry a little bit to right. It's the one part of the ballpark the ball carries here. And Watkins leaves the yard for the first run of the game for the Crushers. Solo home run, 372 feet off the bat to lead off the bottom of the second. First pitch home to Jackson Pritchard is fouled away, 0-1. Only all-star selection for the Crushers, just his second home run of the season. It's been an issue, though, for Watland, the 0-1 home, and it's fouled off the top of the mask of Phillips, 0-2. Watland, his 12th home run allowed this season. Did a good job keeping the ball down against the Crushers. Last time out, last Thursday, did not allow a home run. The 0-2 in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Watland delivers home, swing and a miss. Pritchard looking fastball. He got a changeup, one away. All 4 outs so far for Watland via the strikeout. German-American bank strikeout for Justin Watland, who struck out 9 Crushers last Thursday. Already has 4 strikeouts. Just 1 out here in the top of the second. Base is empty. Solo home run by Watkins, getting a run back for the Crushers. It's 3-1 Otters. Watland delivers home. Pitch misses outside to Scout Knox, the first baseman. Knox, his home debut here for the Crushers. He made his first start of the season on Sunday at Joliet, went 1 for 4. He takes a strike at the knees, 1-1. Crushers have lost 10 of their last 11 series, dating back to early June. 1-1. Breaking ball at the knees for a strike, 1-2. That only series win was against the Otters 2 weeks ago. 1-2. Popped up by Knotts, high in the air. Right side coming in is Dyer on the edge of the green turf. Makes the catch, 2 away. So 2 quick outs for Dyer after the home run by Watkins. That's the first out, not via the strikeout for Watland. 2 outs, nobody on. The number 9 batter, the center fielder, Austin White, digs into the left-handed batter's box. 3-1 lead for the Otters over the Crushers. First pitch from Watland, misses high for a ball, 1-0. And what I've been most impressed by Justin his last 2 starts is when he's gotten into trouble, he's been very calm. The 1-0 misses outside, 2 balls and no strikes. A few times that things fell apart in a hurry for him early on in the season. Since he's returned from the IL, he's looked exceptionally confident and poised on the mound. 2-0 home. Strike at the knees, 2-1 to White. Command's been very good, just 3 combined walks in the first 2 starts since the All-Star break. It's limited damage. He's been effective and efficient. 2-1. Lined into left field, coming in is Brun to make a jogging catch. Hard hit ball, but Brun only a few steps in to make the grab. And after the solo home run by Watkins, Watland retires the last 3 in order. 2 innings complete. 3-1 Otters lead on the Otters Digital Network.
It's time to check in down on the field for a mercy puzzle game. Tom Myros, can you put it all together for us?
That's right. We've got the mercy puzzle game. It's a 6-piece jigsaw puzzle that comes together by a contestant. Put together correctly, it will say, let's go first. And it has a Dr. Barkley on it. So on the third base side, we have Ian. On the first base side, we have Kaylin. So when I say go, we're going to start puzzling. Look at the sun on both sides of the field. So guys, at your marks, get set, go! Start putting that puzzle together. Weather should not be a factor. The wind is blowing out less than 10 miles per hour. Visibility is almost unlimited today. We're getting a nice, slow, steady pace here on the fairway side. A little more animation, a little more action going on first. Third base better pick up the pace just a little bit. He's third, and then I'm looking at like 4 or 5 pieces. Maybe 5. I got 1 piece left on the puzzle over there. Let's see 3 over here. And we have a puzzle on the first base side. First base is our winner. Let's hear it for Caleb.
Hey, Crushers fans, one thing you never trust is the weather. I'm going to catch you off that corner. Strike zone.
2 innings complete from Avon, Ohio. Have a little bit of offense between these two sides. 3-1 lead for the Otters over the Crushers. 3 runs in the second for the Otters, helped by 2 infield errors by Lake Erie. Evansville tallied 3 base hits as well. Crushers got 1 back on a leadoff solo home run by Jared Watkins, but otherwise Justin Watlin looking strong. First pitch from Villalobos to start off the top of the third. Misses high to Jeffrey Baez. Villalobos with 4 strikeouts, but that crummy second inning for the Crushers as Baez swings and misses 1-1. Both errors on balls that popped out of gloves of Crusher infielders. Their gloves hadn't yet woken up this morning. The 1-1. Strike on the outside corner, 1-2 to Baez. It's not easy these early morning games for these players used to playing around 6 or 7 o'clock to adjust your body clock. 1-2. Lunged at a chopper right side over the glove of Knotts and into right field. Baez takes a big turn from first. He's headed to second. The throw not in time. Baez slides in safely with the double. Baez, that ball was way outside of the plate. Just lunged at it and chopped one that bounced right over the glove of Knotts and into right field, who's having a rough day so far at first base. It's the 8th double of the season for Jeffrey Baez. It leads off the top of the third and brings up Yomar Reyes. First extra base hit of the day for Evansville. Reyes kicked off the second inning with a base hit. First pitch home in the turf for a ball, 1-0. Villalobos has some good stuff, but it's just been a tough start for him this season. And you look at a ERA that is above 14. 14.04 entering today. The 1-0 bounces in front of home plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Signed in June at his first outing out of the bullpen and struggled. Now his 4th start of the year and hasn't gone very deep in any game either. His longest was the 5 innings pitched against the Otters last Wednesday. It's an excellent starting rotation for the Crushers. Villalobos, one of the few guys that struggled. The 2-0 up the middle, a hit off the glove of Villalobos, bounces to the shortstop. Watkins throws to first in time to beat Reyes, but Baez does advance to third. Villalobos with a little assist on a ball back up the middle. It skidded, just bounced off the webbing of his glove. That'll make the play a little bit easier for Watkins, who didn't have to go so far up the middle. 6-3 ground out, the first out of the top of the third. Baez to third with 1 out. And the batter, the lefty catcher, Dakota Phillips. Lefty on lefty matchup. Villalobos home, and Phillips fouls it off the screen. Otters the next 2 days will face 2 pitchers in J.D. Hammer and Angelo Baez, who Evansville's bats have really struggled against. Villalobos, who the Otters hit for 7 runs last Wednesday, a guy they've had some success. The 0-1 swing and a miss, 0-2. The Otters, for as much as they've struggled against lefty pitchers this season, Evansville 8-11 against lefty starters this year. They've won 2 in a row against lefties, won both games last week facing lefty starters. The 0-2 is high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's a good sign for Evansville. As we mentioned, Andy McCauley has really moved around the lineup of late when facing a lefty starter, trying to stack guys up in the lineup that have more success. The 1-2, swing and a miss, ball on the turf. And Pritchard tags out Phillips, 2 away. 5th strikeout for Villalobos. It's a big second out with Baez still at third. 2 outs, Baez at third in the top of the third. John Dyer, the righty first baseman, to the plate. Otters lead 3-1. Villalobos working out of the stretch. Brown beige glove set just above the chest. Kicks and delivers. Outside, 1-0. It's to the point in the season now where you can crunch the numbers and look at splits and make pretty clear decisions on guys. Okay, this guy does not hit lefties well, and this guy does. The 1-0, outside 2 balls and no strikes. When you're early in a season, you can maybe look at past stats, but guys, of course, make adjustments in the offseason, so really where a guy's at in terms of splits. Get a month into the season, you start having a big enough sample size. 2-0, breaking ball in the turf, 3-0 to Dyer. Now Myers, who's batting 9th today, is hitting just 197 entering today against lefties, while Quiggle, while lefty batter leading off, is actually hit better against lefties than righties this year. The 3-0 home, swing and a miss. Dyer swinging away on a 3-0. 3 balls and 1 strike. And can really get into the numbers here, but Quiggle hitting .323 against lefties this year, .266 against righties. And Myers is the inverse. 3-1, another swing and a miss. Villalobos has worked back from a 3-0 count to work at full. 3-1, the Otters lead here in the top of the 3rd inning. Baez at 3rd with 2 outs, and a full count now to John Dyer. Villalobos delivers. Fouled away by Dyer, he stays alive. Villalobos up to 40 pitches already here in the top of the 3rd inning. The payoff. Low for ball 4. Long at bat for Dyer. It took 7 pitches, and he works a walk. First base on balls of the day for the Otters. Puts runners on the corners with 2 outs, and the second baseman, Ethan Skinder, steps into the right-handed batter's box. Skinder flew out to shallow left back in the 1st inning. Watkins, the shortstop, made the catch. Righty batter, hitting .242 on the year. First pitch home in the turf. Check swing by Skinder, and they're going to say went around. Skinder's not pleased with the call, and I wouldn't be either. Clark Morgan, the home plate umpire, made the call. Decisive call for Morgan. So a 0-1 count to Ethan Skinder. Villalobos fires. That's low, and Skinder holds up. 1 ball and 1 strike. Skinder had a great series before the All-Star break against Windy City. Hit the lights out of the ball against the Thunderbolts in the Otters sweep, but hasn't been able to find himself yet at the plate since the All-Star break. Just 3 hits and hitting .113 in the 9 games since the break. 2-0 in the dirt, 3 balls and no strikes. Did have a really key triple, though, against the Crushers last week in that Otters series victory. That's his only hit so far this season. 6 games against Lake Erie. The 3-0 is lined into left field, a base hit. Baez scores. Skinder comes through with an RBI knock into left. 4-1 Evansville. After just 6 runs in 3 games here in Avon 2 weeks ago for the Otters, they put 4 up already, and we're only in the 3rd inning. Skinder taking one at the knees and pounding it 105 miles per hour off the bat into left. Dyer goes to second, Skinder at first. That brings up George Khalil, the shortstop. Back-to-back innings with runs for the Otters, 3 in the 2nd and now 1 across in the 3rd. First pitch to Khalil is fouled straight back. Otters quickly working up the pitch count of Villalobos as well, over 51 pitches. Try to get into a very good Lake Erie bullpen. This Crusher team's got some great arms. ERA is 4th best in the league, 4.22. But the Crushers have not been able to put that together with much offense this year. 0-2 count to Khalil. The pitch, swing and a miss. Khalil down to a knee, chasing one. And that retires the side. The Otters add another run in the third. Baez leads off with a double. Skinder, a big RBI base hit. It's 4-1 Evansville as we move to the bottom of the third on the Otters Digital Network and simulcast today on Flow Sports. Bottom of the third inning from Avon, Ohio. 4-1 lead for the Otters over the Crushers. Some early offense for the Otters against the strong pitching staff of Lake Erie. Justin Watlin out to work the bottom of the third inning. He'll face the top of the order for Lake Erie. Trump swings at the first pitch, pops one up into left. Back at the wall is Braun. It's gone. Trump over the left field wall and off the grassy berm in left field. Back-to-back innings with a leadoff home run for Lake Erie. That was a big shot by Trump, 392 feet off the bat, and it bounced halfway up the hill and left and rolled right over the hill and down the other side. So Trump has his second home run of the season. Zachary Cusin, the batter, takes the first pitch low for a ball. 2 leadoff home runs by the Crushers. Watkins led off the second with the solo home run, and now Jandito Trump does the same thing. Cusin swings and pops one up right side. Under it is Dyer, the first baseman, to make the catch, one away. Well, I've said it multiple times, solo home runs don't lose you ball games, and while Watlin getting back to his struggles with allowing home runs, now 13 homers allowed on the season. He's got an early run support and just 2 solo blasts, and the Otters still lead by 2. First pitch to Todd Isaacs Jr., misses outside for a ball. Just 24 pitches so far for Watlin here in the bottom of the third inning. He has 4 strikeouts. 1-0. He is lined high in the air to left field, taking Braun back at the warning track. That one's gone. Isaacs Jr. gets in on the power party for the Crushers with his 3rd homer of the year. Three home runs for Lake Erie, and we're still in the third inning. The lead cut to 1. It's 4-3. That pitch was way up in the zone. Isaacs Jr. did not care. fastball up and just drove it out of the ballpark over the head of Broughton and off the bottom of the grassy hill and left. 381 off the bat. All of a sudden, the lead down to 1. The first pitch to Jack Harris in for a strike. It's being Watlin's biggest issue this year. He's given up 14 home runs now on the season. The 0-2 is, or the 0-1, excuse me, line foul, and now it's 0-2. His 5th game of the season, allowing at least 2 home runs, but this is the first he's allowed 3 in. The 0-2 is grounded foul again. Odd to see from Lake Erie, though. This is not a home run hitting team at all. 35 home runs entering this week. They're tied for dead last entering the week in home runs hit, but some power on a Tuesday morning. The 0-2, way high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Five hits for the Crushers and 3 runs, all of them solo home runs. 1-2. Breaking ball just missed inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 3 runs in the second and 1 in the third for the Otters. The Crushers 1 in the second and now 2 in the third to make it 4-3 Evansville. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball falls off the table into the turf. Strikeout number 5 for Watlin. Brings up Kemuel Thomas Rivera with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the third. Surprisingly high octane game. A lot of offense to start here for Mercy L Stadium. As Thomas Rivera takes the first pitch inside for a ball. Two of the better pitching staffs in the league. The 1-0 is lined into right. A few steps back for Baez. Reaches up over his head and off the warning track in the wall. Thomas Rivera has a double. Balls carry out to right. Baez looked to be under it, but at the last moment it started racing back and it sailed over his glove. The 6th hit already of the day for Lake Erie. Double for Thomas Rivera. He's at second with 2 outs, and back to Jared Watkins. Had a solo home run in his first at-bat against Watland in the second. First pitch home. Inside corner for his strike 0-1. Crushers got shut out by Watland last Thursday, but they figured a few things out today. The 0-1 misses low, 1 ball and 1 strike. On a warm, largely windless day, the ball carrying out of the ballpark. One and one. Popped up by Watkins on the infield. Khalil coming in on the edge of the green turf makes the catch to retire the side. The Crushers get 2 runs back, 2 solo home runs from John Dito Trump and Todd Isaacs Jr. We've played 3 innings from Avon. It's 4-3 Otters on the Otters Digital Network. 3 innings of entertaining baseball complete from Mercy Health Stadium. Move to the top of the 4th inning. Otters lead 4-3. A series opener between the Crushers and the Otters. Noah Myers leads off the top of the 4th inning and takes a first pitch high from Yoniker Villalobos. Feels like almost every game these teams have played so far this season. This is the 1-0 in for a strike. Myers showed bunt but pulled it back. A strike anyways, 1-1. Almost every game these teams have played this year has involved some weird shenanigans. 1-1. Line through the 4-3 gap into right field, a base hit. The shenanigans today appear to be a surprisingly high amount of offense between the Otters and the Crushers. 6th hit for Evansville already in the top of the 4th inning as Myers grounds one in between the second baseman Thomas Rivera and the first baseman Knotts. Already 6 hits for the Otters and 8 of 9 batters have reached base. Back to the top of the order in the 3rd at bat today for Kona Quiggle. First pitch home to Kona, inside for a ball, 1-0. Six hits apiece and a 1-run lead for the Otters in the top of the 4th inning. As Villalobos steps off and throws back to first, Myers strides back to the bat. Just past noontime, we're in the afternoon now here outside of Cleveland. Sunny skies, but a light haze over the blue sky today with the air quality poor. 1-0, the inside corner for a strike, 1-1. Little wind though, and not super hot or humid. It's expected to really heat up across much of the Midwest and the East Coast over the next few days, but today's still quite pleasant. 1-1. Check swing by Quiggle. Yelled up. 2 balls and 1 strike. Otters scored 3 runs in the 2nd inning, helped by 2 Lake Erie errors, and then added 1 more run in the 3rd. 3-stride lead at first for Myers. Knotts holding him on the bag. And the 2-1. Popped up, left side, out of play. Quiggle took a massive swing at that ball. Look out in the parking lot, left side. That one's way out of the park. Towards the expansive parking lot. Straddles Mercy Health Stadium and I-90, the interstate. Just to the west here, the 2-2 popped up again behind home plate and out of play. YMCA out past left field over the hill down the left field line. And a large green field to straightaway center field. About 20 minutes away from the shores of Lake Erie, about 30 minutes away from downtown Cleveland. The 2-2, line down the right field line. Look out in the seats, right into a big crowd of children. It goes foul, and everyone's all right. It luckily went right into where the couple rows of seats that no fans were sitting in between the orange shirt camp and the blue shirt camp. Summer camp day here the ballpark. I always love the color coordinated shirts. It's like a rainbow in the stands. 2-2. Popped up again, right side. This ball falling quickly. 3 green jerseys over. It's the second baseman, Thomas Rivera, that makes the catch along the line. Good play by the second baseman, getting all the way out into pretty deep right field, right along the line. Making the catch on a rapidly dying pop-up. So Quiggle retired. There's 1 away. Myers still at first, and it brings up Josh Brodden. Otters trying to score for the 3rd straight inning and extend a 1-run lead. Villalobos at 64 pitches as he steps off and fires back to first. Quiggle back on the bat. Brodden is the only Otter so far today yet to reach base. First pitch home. Lined right to the second baseman, Thomas Rivera. He flips to Watkins for 1 out, back to first base in time for the double play. Perfectly executed 4-6-3 double play. Thomas Rivera, the second baseman, flipping to the shortstop Watkins. The throw across the diamond to the first baseman Knotts to end the inning. Otters go scoreless for the first time since the first inning. We move to the bottom of the fourth. 4-3, the Otters lead on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Way out there in the orange shirts, right? Okay. You do a lot of shopping. All right, well, let's take a look at the scoreboard and see what item we're bidding on today. It's not finished, the pricing. It's a V8 Splash 64-inch bottle. Now, is it $2.50, $2.65, or $7.99? I know that's a tough one. I think I worked with you. So I'm not sure about the Splash. You guys ever got your help? What is your final answer? You went with 350. The correct price is $265. Oh, good. I'm sorry, but you know, Myers does have the lowest prices in town. All right, thanks for participating. Thank you so much.
Hey fans, Meyer has everything you need to keep your family well fed, well dressed, and well taken care of all season long. Visit the Avon or Meyer store for most brands, best prices, and best service in marine life. Meyer is a proud partner of the Lake Erie Crushers.
Move to the bottom of the fourth inning for Mercy Hill Stadium in Avon, Ohio. 4-3 lead for Evansville over Lake Erie. Justin Watland having a rather strange day. He's allowed 3 solo home runs to the Crushers. He's struck out 5 batters and has not walked anyone. He's gotten some run support as well. Still has the lead here in the bottom of the fourth, but trying to find the rhythm that we saw from him last week against the Crushers. His first pitch home to Jackson Pritchard misses low for a ball. Hasn't panicked yet on the mound, hasn't given up the big inning that was an issue back in May and June as Pritchard grounds one foul, third base side 1-1. And all the home runs have all been solo ones, not too damaging. Watkins led off the second with a home run. Trump led off the third with a homer. And then Isaacs Jr. added another solo homer in the third. The 1-1 down in the turf. 2 balls and 1 strike. Next pitch from Watland will be his 50th of the afternoon. The 2-1. Popped up right side. Dyer, the first baseman, on the warning track and watches it bounce off the top of the concourse. Well fielded by a young lady. Caught it off a hop, gave a fist bump. Kids running after it, but it's hers to keep. 2-2. Sails high and a full count to Pritchard. Payoff from Watland. Swung on and just fouled off the top of the bat and straight back to the backstop. 6 hits apiece. Crushers made 2 errors in a critical second inning where the Otters scored 3 runs. Evansville holding on to a 4-3 lead. Watland a long look in, big kick and delivery. Misses low for ball 4. First walk of the day for Watland. Pritchard leads off the fourth with a walk. Want to make your lawn and landscape look like a field of dreams? Make sure you use 10 Bars Professional brand products. Pick them up at any of our 3 locations, beautifying the communities we live in and the grass we walk and play on, all since 1940. Scott Knotts steps to the plate and takes their first pitch inside from Justin Watland. Runner at first with nobody out on the bottom of the fourth. 4-3 Otters lead. Knotts popped out to first base in his first at bat. First pitch, or the second pitch home, I should say, misses low again. 2 balls and no strikes. Knott's a new addition to the Crushers. Lake Erie trying to find some guys to provide consistent offense. 2-0 is lined into left center field, down for a base hit. 2 ops in front of Quiggle. Knotts has his second hit as a Crusher. And there's 2 on for Lake Erie with nobody out in the bottom of the 4th. Lake Erie team that has not scored more than 4 runs in 12 of their last 13 games, but already 7 hits for the Crushers here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Austin White coming to the plate, and the Crushers manager Jared Lemieux meeting him halfway from third base to give him a quick word. Well, White was just signed by the Crushers. He started the year with the New Jersey Jackals, just signed today. This is just his second at bat, and I'm guessing he hasn't learned the signs yet, so Lemieux just had to call time and tell White what he wanted from him instead of using signs as the third base coach. It's a bunt that he wants, and it's a good one down the first base line, but it hops to the right and goes foul. Phillips picks it up, and White will have to try again. A lot of times on turf, you get a ball down the line, it is going to stay straight. There's nothing to dirt or grass to make it change direction, but that ball had some mean spin on it and quickly kicked to the right. So no 1 count to the lefty White. 2 on and nobody out. Watland delivers. White shows bunt, pulls it back at the last moment, but a strike at the knees. Now it's 0-2. We'll see if White still tries to lay down a bunt. Top of the order is coming up after White with Trump on deck, who already has a home run today. 0-2 count. White not showing bunt now as Watland peeks back at second and throws. Swinging away, right side, backhanded glove by Dyer. Throws to second base for the first out. Back to first base, bounces under the glove of Dyer. He quickly picks it back up, and Pritchard will stay put at third base. The Otters get a force out at second, 1 away, and runners at the corners. Otters close to turning a double play. A lot of moving pieces with bodies flying everywhere. Dyer making a nice backhanded stab, throwing to Khalil for the forced out at second, and then tried to fire back to Dyer. But even if Dyer held on, White was going to be able to run that ball out. So White at first, Knott's out at second, Pritchard at third, back to the top of the order, the ready. Trump swings at the first pitch, grounds it left side, backhanded field by Reyes, throw to first in time for the out. What a play by Yomar Reyes. The tying run will score by Pritchard, though, and we're tied at 4. It's a weird spot there for the Otters, and the Evansville Otter fans that have made the trip applauded that play. He allowed the tying run, but what a play by Reyes. Backhanded stop behind the third base bag, and a long throw for a much-needed second out. The Crushers, though, score the tying run. Now it's Zachary Cusin as Watland comes home and fires the first pitch strike. Both pitchers have been working very quickly today, and all the base runners on. It's been a lot to keep track of. White is at second now with 2 outs. Pritchard scoring to tie the game at 4. The 0-1 is lined again left side, but that time foul. Bouncing off the side walling and into left field. Crushers bullpen arm out to run after. Pritchard led off with a walk. Knott's lined a base hit into left field. White grounded into a 3-6 fielder's choice to put runners on the corners, and then Pritchard scoring on the 5-3 ground out by Trump. The 0-2 is high, 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 misses well high, and Phillips out of the crouch to haul it in. 2-2. 58 pitches now for Justin Watland. He just has not been able to find any rhythm today. A lot of runners on, and Lake Erie's made it difficult on him. The 0-2 Lined into left field. Coming in, he is brought under the baseball and makes the grab to retire the side. The Crushers tie the ball game up. They use a walk and a hit to start off the inning and move some pieces around. We're all tied at 4 through 4 innings. We got a good one on this Tuesday afternoon from Lake Erie on the Otters Digital Network.
Fans, please be aware that foul balls, bats, and other foreign objects may enter the seating area at high rates of speed at any point in the game. So for your safety, we ask that you wait until it stops the play before leaving or returning to your seats. Also, your phone can wait until the between the break. So while in your seats, please pay close attention to what's going on in the field. Also, fans, please refrain from complaining and just taking action on the field in any way, shape, or form. Violators should be subject to removal from the ballpark without the opportunity of a refund.
Four innings complete, and we're all tied at 4 between the Evansville Otters and the Lake Erie Crushers. Tuesday morning start, now a Tuesday afternoon under sunny skies here from Avon, Ohio, outside of Cleveland. Plenty of offense to boot in this first game of a 3-game set. Jeffrey Baez leads off the top of the 5th and swings and misses at the first pitch from Yoniker Villalobos. Lefty has had a up and down, certainly start today, but he's worked into the 5th inning. The 0-1 is low. 1 ball and 1 strike. In some ways, a little bit reminiscent of his start against the Otters last week. Gave up a 7-run second inning, but just came out and kept on working and ended up giving Lake Erie 5 good innings by his swings and misses, 1 and 2. Certainly a gritty pitcher, plenty of experience, 4 years in the Marlins organization. He spent the last 2 years with the Florence Yalls. Experienced affiliated baseball, experienced in Frontier League baseball, even if he hasn't had the best start to the year. 1-2 count to Baez. Villalobos high set and delivers. Bouncing in the turf. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Baez. Otters with 6 hits and 4 runs, 2 errors in the infield. The Crushers committed in the second, helping lead to a 3-run second inning for Evansville. Villalobos is making sure he has the count right. Calling time and putting up 2 fingers apiece to make sure it is a 2-2 count to Clark Morgan. Clark Morgan confirms it is indeed 2-2. Now Villalobos is ready and throws. Line left side, a high chopper, charging in the third baseman, Urquson throw across the body in first to easily beat Baez. 1 out. If you have a group of friends or coworkers who wish to come to historic Bosse Field and enjoy an Otters home game, contact the Otters front office to reserve a party deck on the Corona Extra Patio Deck. Corona Extra Patio Deck is one of the best places to watch the game with an all-you-can-eat menu and unlimited bottled water and soft drinks. Call 812-435-8686 for your more information on how you can book your next celebration. Yomar Reyes to the plate. He fouls the first pitch he sees off the wall behind the concourse. 1 out and nobody on here in the top of the 5th, all tied at 4. 0-1 home, right down the middle. No, actually, we're going to call it just outside. It was just outside, 1-1. Broadcast boost at a unique angle here at Mercy Health Stadium. just down the third base line. The 1-1 home. Slapped at, popped up, fading down the right field line. Long run for Harris and makes a running grab into the Otters bullpen. Basket catch by Jack Harris, the hat flying off. The hair going everywhere. Long flowing hair for Harris and making a running catch down the right field line. Impressive play by Harris, 2 away. So 2 quick outs for Villalobos here in the 5th. It brings up Dakota Phillips, who takes a first pitch high. Press box, as I was saying, down the third base line. I've got a great view right down the first base line directly, but not behind home plate as Phillips swings and misses 1-1. Got to trust Clark Morgan behind home plate to call balls and strikes because the angle I'm at, I'm certainly not able to do it super well. Not that I'm able to call balls and strikes very well to begin with. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I think you should have to have 20/20 vision, or even better if you're a umpire. That's something I certainly do not have. Should be part of an umpiring test or an interview. You make them do an eye test. The 1-2 is a line drive into center field. Coming in is White under the baseball, and he makes the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for Villalobos, his second of the day. We move to the bottom of the 5th, all tied at 4 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Hot day, Tom. Time for some tossing. What do you got?
Oh, it is a hot day out there. We've got the water moving pump. We have 2 teams. We have Tyler and Avon versus Noah and Jordan. So they're going to toss to each other. And if we can catch it in that waiting inning, it's not in harm's way. All right. On your marks. Get set. Toss. 1. Go. Back and forth. Back and forth. All right, well, hurry, Bert. We now have a winner. Avon and Tyler are our winners.
Hey fans, if you're looking to replace your floors this summer, Floor Coverings International is your go-to for any flooring needs. Floor Coverings can make your home feel brand new. And they are conveniently located in Avon Lake. And just a reminder to be aware that foul balls, bats, and other foreign objects may enter the seating area at high rates of speed at any point during the game. So for your safety, we ask that you wait until the stoppage of play before leaving or returning to your seats. Also, please don't can wait until the cleaning breaks. So, while in your seats, please pay close attention to what's happening on the
We move to the bottom of the 5th from Merciel Stadium here in Avon, Ohio. Otters 4, Crushers 4. Opening up a 3-game series, the final 3-game series between Evansville and Lake Erie this year, concluding playing 9 games over an 18-game stretch. It's 2 Frontier League West foes. Todd Isaacs Jr. leads off the bottom of the 5th inning and takes a first pitch outside from Justin Watland. Watland on the left side of the rubber delivers, swing and a miss. Isaacs Jr. all tied up, 1-1. What a day already for the Otters killer, Todd Isaacs Jr. A base hit and a solo home run. 1-1. Swing and a miss again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Isaac Jr., one of the best bats on the Crushers, and boy, has he beat up Evansville so far this year. 5 games played, entering today with 8 hits, 8 runs, and hitting .471. Now has 10 hits against the Otters this season. 1-2. Bounces in the turf away from Phillips. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Former New Jersey Jackal who was born in the Bahamas. 2-2. Swung on and driven into right field, taking Baez in a few strides, reaches up the glove and makes the snag, 1 away. Time to take a look at the Frontier Lake standings, brought to you by Seal Corp. It's the first game of the week in the Frontier League. We've got 6 weeks left to play. And the Frontier League West standings certainly getting more interesting after Gateway's disastrous East Coast road trip as Jack Harris steps in and takes the first pitch low from Watland. Bases are empty with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. We're all tied at 4 between Evansville and Lake Erie. The 1-0 is popped up out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gateway losing all 6 of its games on their road trip last week. And all of a sudden, Schaumburg just a game back of Gateway. And Evansville a game and a half back of Gateway. 1-1. Breaking ball misses high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lake Erie is 11 games back. They're tied for last in the Frontier League West with Florence. 2-1. Popped up right side. Now to play. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Still very much the good and the bad right now in the Frontier League West. Gateway, Schaumburg, and Evansville, the top 3 teams in the league. And the bottom 5 only separated by 2 games, all well under 500 as the 2-2 swung on and missed by Jack Harris. Watland gets a fastball by Harris, and there's 2 away. That's the 6th German-American bank strikeout for Justin Watland. He's looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the day. He's retired the first 2 here in the 5th. It brings up Kemwell Thomas Rivera, the second baseman. First pitch home, inside for a ball, 1-0. Quebec won its 13th game in a row on Sunday to sweep New Jersey. They're a game and a half up now in the Frontier League East. 1-0, swing and a miss again. 1-1. Those Frontier League standings brought to you by Seal Corp. 1-1 count to Thomas Rivera. Watland delivers. Misses, no, catches the bottom corner of the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Otters bullpen still quiet. Watland at 71 pitches now. Throws home. Breaking ball misses high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 4 2/3 innings pitch for Watland. He's allowed 4 earned runs on 7 hits. Struck out 6, just 1 walk. 2-2. Line down the left field line. This ball heading foul. A lot of pitches thrown. Time for some new baseballs for Clark Morgan, receiving them from the bat boy for the Crushers. Eventful, entertaining start to this series. 2-2. Foul tipped off the end of the bat, and it hit Phillips. Tax down to 1 knee on the left side of the batter's box. Might have hit the side of his leg where the protector just misses. Appears to be okay. Gets back up, flexing out the foot. Might have hit off the top of the cleat. Our catchers are always so well protected with chest protector and knee and leg protector, yet somehow the ball seems to find the one spot that's not protected. 2-2 is dribbled foul, and Thomas Rivera staying alive. Watland trying to complete 5 innings and make it the 50th game this season that an Otters starter has gone at least 5. 2-2. Inside, it'll full count. 49 of 59 games so far this season, the Otters starter has worked through 5 innings. Here's the payoff. Popped up high in the air into left field. Josh Brunn working over to his left down the line under the ball and makes the catch. An in-order inning for Justin Watland in the bottom of the 5th. He's completed 5 innings. We're all tied at 4 between the Crushers and the Otters. You're listening to Otters Baseball on the Otters Digital Network and watching on Flow Sports.
Hey fans, did you ever have that feeling that you just want to flash into somebody? Well, Tom Melrose is down the third base line right now, and he's ready for battle. Let's get him on, Tom.
All right, this is a fan favorite. This is our battle ball competition. We have 2 competitors
We move to the top of the 6th inning from Mercy Hill Stadium in Avon, Ohio. All tied at 4 between the Otters and the Crushers in the series opener. First call to the bullpen here in the top of the 6th inning as the ready Perry Bewley comes in for the Crushers. Yonooker Villalobos completing 5 innings, tied for his season high. And now it's up to the Crushers bullpen as Bewley's first pitch to the ready John Dyer misses low for a ball. Bewley's 24th appearance of the season, 29 and a third innings pitched, a 3.07 ERA. Beige brown glove just sets above the belt, delivers, swing and a miss. Blow a fastball by Dyer. Bewley has pitched a few times against the Otters this season. One and one. Swing and a miss again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bewley worked 2 scoreless against the Otters here at Lake Erie and then worked 1 inning last week against Evansville. And the Otters got to him. 2 runs on 3 hits and 2 walks. That was in the Otters' 14-9 loss, though, last Wednesday, where Villalobos earned the win. Villalobos will not earn the win today as we're all tied at 4 here into the top of the 6th. 1 and 2. He is chopped softly left side, coming in the third baseman. Mercuson gloves it, throw to first, beats Dyer by 2 strides, and there's 1 out. Bring up Ethan Skinder with 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning, all tied at 4. Bewley, one of the shorter pitchers out of the bullpen. Just 5'11", 210, local Ohio guy from Chardon, Ohio. Went to school here in Ohio at Ashland University. As Skinder swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. Oh and 1. Misses low, 1 ball and 1 strike. That was a fair amount of good arms out of the bullpen for the Crushers. There's a lot of good starters. Otters certainly learned that the hard way 2 weeks ago here in Avon. Held to just 6 runs in that game, but in that series, I should say, but already have 4 today as the 1-1 misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Otters certainly got to Lake Erie pitching, though, last week, going back to Bosse Field. Otters scored 26 runs over the 3 games, including 20 runs in the last 2. 2-1. Inside corner for a strike, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a lot of that damage was done against the Lake Erie bullpen. Otters coming from behind to win on Tuesday and then blew open the game, the 7-run, 7th inning on Thursday against the Crushers bullpen. Trying to repeat things here and earn a back and forth win. The 2-2 lined to left field, down for a base hit. Skinder has a 2-hit day for the first time since before the All-Star break. Back-to-back base hits for Skinder here on this Tuesday afternoon. There's 1 on with 1 out. It's the first base runner for the Otters since the top of the 4th inning. Brings up George Khalil. 1 on and 1 out. Both teams with now 7 hits apiece and 4 runs apiece. Khalil's 1 for 2 today, a base hit back in the 2nd. Skinder a 3-stride lead at first. He's got good speed there. Bewley delivers. Khalil takes a strike at the knees. It was a great offensive week last week for the Otters in their 6-game homestand. They went 4-2. Evansville put up over 7 runs a game. Had at least 4 runs in all 6. Bewley steps off. Skinder dives back to the bag, well ahead of the throw, 0-1. The Otters don't have so far today as a home run. They've hit a home run in 6 straight games. Big key to the Otters' offensive success. The 0-1 is fouled straight back and right off the top of the roof and back into the stands, 0-2. 6 straight games with a home run for the Otters, which is a season best. They found excellent power since the All-Star break. 17 home runs for the Otters over the first 9 games since the break. Skinder dancing over at first base. The 0-2 is fouled again, straight back. Skinder not stealing, but almost more so just trying to tempt Bewley into a pickoff throw. A 1-2 count to Khalil with 1 on and 1 out in the top of the 6th. We've got a good ball game. All tied at 4. The 0-2, Skinder takes off. Khalil pops one up into center field. Skinder's going to have to race back to first base over the right fielder Harris to make the catch. Skinder gets back to first base before a throw. 2 away. Now bring up Noah Myers with 2 outs. Skinder at first. Top of the 6th inning. Crushers 4, Otters 4 after a lot of offense early. Seen just 1 run since the 3rd inning. Bewley looking to work a scoreless inning out of the bullpen for Lake Erie. Fires home, a first pitch strike to the lefty Myers. Noah's 1 for 2 today, led off the 4th with a base hit. Starting a new hit streak. Bewley steps off another pickoff throw back to Skinder, who's in safely. Myers had a 13-game hit streak end on Sunday against Lake Erie. That has now extended his on-base streak. Now 15 games for the Otters' typical leadoff batter, but batting in the 9-hole today with the lefty starting pitcher. Bewley flirting with the pitch clock, fires home, misses low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Skinder certainly providing a distraction over at first base. Clouds have rolled in, and the sun for now disappearing. The 1-1 bounces in the turf. Skinder a delayed steal, throw down to second, and Skinder's caught up in a rundown. They'll throw back to first. Skinder's tagged out, and that will end the top of the 6th. Looked like a delayed steal by Skinder with the ball in the dirt, but quickly Pritchard realized and threw down to second, and Skinder was stuck in a rundown. Move to the bottom of the 6th inning. Still tied at 4 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. We've got a good ball game brewing from Avon, Ohio, outside of Cleveland. All tied at 4 between the Otters and the Crushers. Justin Watland trying to complete 6 innings. He'll face Jared Watkins to lead off the bottom of the 6th. First pitch misses low to the lefty batter. Watkins started the scoring for Lake Erie with a leadoff solo home run in the 2nd inning. Pitch home. Watkins drives one foul to the right of the first base bag. 3 of the 4 runs given up by Watland today by the solo home run. He's at 80 pitches now. He's had 4 earned on 7 hits. Delivers home. Swing and a miss. 1-2. 6 strikeouts today for Watland. Coming off working his first 1-2-3 inning of the game in the 5th. Wondering if maybe Watland has found the groove that we saw his entire start against Lake Erie last week when he pitched 7 shutout. 1-2. This is inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Otters do have an arm warming in the bullpen. John Beamer, the righty, starting to throw. The 2-2 bounces in front of home plate and a full count. Watland's gone over 100 pitches just twice on the year, now into the 80s. So likely be his last inning of work. The payoff, swing and a miss. Watland blows one by Watkins, 1 away. For landscape design that is truly unique, look to locally owned Wild Horticulture. Whether you need a team to design and construct a large-scale landscape project for your business or looking to create an epic backyard retreat complete with plants, water, and light installation, the experienced team at Wild can take your ideas to the next level. Watland's first pitch home to Jackson Pritchard, the righty batter, taken for a strike. You've likely seen Wild's creative work all over town. They have the skills and resources to deliver inspiring spaces and bring your ideas to life. The 0-1. Misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike. If you have a project in mind, you can find them on Instagram and at wildspaces.com. Watland fires home. It's lined down the left field line. 1 hop in front of Broad. A base hit for Pritchard. Pritchard reaches for the 2nd time today, and his first base hit, a 1-out knock in the 6th, as it brings up Scott Knotts. All tied at 4 here in the bottom of the 6th. Lake Erie has the go-ahead run on base. First pitch to the righty batter. This is low for a ball, 1-0. Watland trying to complete 6 innings for the 5th time this season. Pitch home, misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Watland won all 4 of those outings that he worked at least 6 innings. 6-3 on the season, looking for his 7th win of the year. 2-0, swing and a miss. Back to the breaking ball. 2 balls and 1 strike to Knotts. Watland looking for his 3rd straight win as well. Back-to-back wins coming out of the All-Star break for the ready pitcher. 2-1, swing and a miss. Another nasty breaking ball by Watland, and it put Knotts in a whole bunch of knots. Two and 2 count. Watland working out of the stretch. Black glove flutters as he rocks back and forth. At the belt and home. Lined over the head of Skinder and into right center field. It's cut off by Baez in right center. Into second is Knotts with the double. Pritchard, I should say, is held at 3rd base. And the Crushers have 2 in scoring position with 1 out in the 6th. Knotts' first extra base hit as a Crusher. The first double of the day for Lake Erie. Knotts at 2nd, Pritchard at 3rd as it brings up Austin White, and it brings out the Otters pitching coach Max Peterson to make a change. The day will end for Justin Watland at 94 pitches and 5 1/3. Just could not find a rhythm today, but he's kept the Otters in the ball game. Now it's up to Beamer to try to keep this game tied. We'll be right back on the Otters Digital Network. Otters making a call to the bullpen with 2 on and 1 out in the bottom of the 6th in a tie ball game. 4 runs apiece for the Crushers and the Otters. John Beamer, the righty from Hopkinsville, Kentucky, into the ball game. His 25th appearance of the season, an excellent 2.14 ERA for Beamer. Has not allowed a run in his last 3 outings. Just 8 earned runs allowed on the season, 44 strikeouts to 12 walks. Pitching change brought to you by the Answer Auto Repair East. You can find your battery needs at 2319 North Green River Road or call at 812-475-9000. That's the Answer Auto Repair East. Phillips remaining behind home plate for the Otters. Justin Watlin's day ends at 5 1/3. Beamer inheriting 2 runners with Pritchard at third, Knotts at second after a double. Trying to keep this a 4-run ball game. Beamer will face the number 9 batter, Austin White, a lefty, to start off his day. Beamer pitched twice against the Crushers just last week, was excellent, allowed just 1 base runner over 2 2/3 innings pitched. Former Brewers farmhand, ready on the right side of the rubber, and throws. White shows bunt and pulls it back. It missed low, but White couldn't hold up the bunt. Checked down to third base umpire Jason Smith, and he says he went around. The bunt was pulled back a little bit too late, so an 0-1 count to White. Otters' left side of the infield is in. Reyes on the edge of the grass. The 0-1. Swinging away, grounder right side, picked up by Dyer. He will backpedal to first and step on the bag, watching Pritchard stay at third base. Big second out for the Otters. Great play by Dyer. Hard hit ball right to his feet. And then holding the potential go-ahead run at third base at Pritchard. So 2 outs, back to the top of the order, and Jandito Trump, the ready DH. Pritchard at third, Knotts at second, all tied at 4 in the bottom of the 6th. Beamer comes home. Lined into center field, down for a base hit. Pritchard scores, not sent from third. The throw home is not in time. Lake Erie leads 6-4. Fresh off the IL, the veteran Trump, a 2 RBI base hit into center to give Lake Erie their first lead of the day. Two come across in the 6th. They'll both be credited to Watlin. With 2 outs, it brings up Zach Racusin. Beamer fires home. Racusin takes outside, 1-0. So the Otters will go into the 7th trailing and try to look for a comeback victory. The Otters looking for their first victory of the season here at Mercy-El Stadium after being swept the first time around just 2 weeks ago over 4th of July week. 1-0, fouled away off the right side of the screen above the Otters dugout, 1-1. 10 hits today for Lake Erie, and they've put up over 4 runs for just the 2nd time over the last 2 weeks. It had just 1 time scoring more than 4 runs since the All-Star break as the pitch misses low to Racusin. Phillips springs up and throws back to first. Trump gets back on the bag. That only time Lake Erie scored more than 4 since the All-Star break was against the Otters in their lone win last week against Evansville when they put 14 runs up. They've been great offensively getting back here to Mercy-El Stadium. 6 runs and 10 hits. 2-1. Bounced off the end of the bat, softly hit. Khalil will glove it, underhand toss to the second base bag. Skinder steps on the base for the force out to retire the side. Jandito Trump, a 2 RBI base hit, gives Lake Erie a 6-4 lead through 6 innings here from Mercy Health Stadium. Can the Otters get a comeback going? Don't go anywhere on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. We move to the top of the 7th inning from Avon, Ohio. A 6-4 lead for Lake Erie over Evansville. Noah Myers leads off the top of the 7th. First pitch home from Bewley is in for a strike to Myers. Perry Bewley, the righty local from Ohio, will stay in for a second inning of work. Worked around a base hit in the 6th inning for a clean inning. Myers takes another strike on the inner third, 0-2. A go-ahead 2 RBI base hit for the Crushers in the bottom of the 6th, giving them the lead. 0-2. Outside 1 ball and 2 strikes. Otters led by 3 runs twice early on, but the Crushers have now scored 5 unanswered to take the lead. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Myers strikes out. 1 away. Time for a check of the Frontier League out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by WJPS 107.1. You can tune in every Monday through Friday for the Otters Daily Update, every morning with Zane Clodfilter. This is the only afternoon/morning game in the Frontier League today. Everything else at night, as Kona Quiggle takes a first pitch strike on the outside corner. Bunch of interesting series, though, kicking off across the Frontier League this evening. Otters, it's the 0-1. Outside 1-1 to Quiggle. Otters paying a lot of attention to Schaumburg and Gateway, fighting with the Grizzlies and the Boomers at the top of the Frontier League West standings. Schaumburg hosting Ottawa in a 3-game series, and Gateway finally back home. They're hosting Windy City. Pitch inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Quiggle. Grizzlies will try to end a 6-game losing streak tonight against the Thunderbolts. Curious to see how Gateway responds after going 0-6 on their last road trip. 2-1 from Bewley. Swing and a miss. Quiggle down to a knee. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Quebec, which has won 13 in a row. They're at Florence this evening. And New York, who the Otters will see next, is on the road but not too far away. Just down the road, really, and over the New Jersey border. They're at Sussex County for a 3-game set. 2-2 home. Outside, no full count. That's your Frontier League out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by WJPS 107.1. Full count to Quiggle. 1 out, nobody on in the top of the 7th. The Otters trailing 6-4. Bewley readies and throws. Swing and a miss. Quiggle strikes out, 2 away. Back-to-back strikeouts for Bewley to start the top of the 7th. Otters with 4 early runs, but have not put a runner in scoring position since the 3rd inning. 2 outs, nobody on. The left fielder, Josh Brodden, to the plate. First pitch is swung on and sliced foul, hooking right into the Otters bullpen. Bouncing up into the seats into a bunch of orange shirts. One of the summer camps here on a summer splash day here at Mercy Hill Stadium, with tons of summer camps in attendance and a variety of water games and activities for the young kids to enjoy. They even got a slip and slide prepared for after the game. The 0-1 fouled away again by Braun, 0-2. It's an all artificial turf field here, so you don't have to worry about water. They're going to put a slip and slide out on the field after the game for the kids to enjoy. I might join them. I left my swimsuit in my suitcase back in the hotel, actually. Well, if they bring it out tomorrow, I'll bring my swimsuit. The 0-2 swung on and missed. Broughton strikes out, and Perry Bewley strikes out the side in the top of the 7th inning. 6-4 lead for the Crushers over the Otters. It's time to stretch here at Mercy Hill Stadium on the Otters Digital Network. Bottom of the 7th inning from Mercy Hill Stadium in Avon, Ohio, on the shores of beautiful Lake Erie. A 6-4 lead for the Crushers over the Otters. John Beamer got the last out of the bottom of the 6th. He's back out to work the top of the 7th and fires a first pitch strike at the letters to Todd Isaacs Jr. 0-1. Popped up high in the air. Phillips and Dyer both looking up. The first baseman, Dyer's under the baseball, makes the catch in the first base coach's box down the right field line. One away. Evansville Otter fans, 2023 brings new opportunities to catch all the latest Frontier League action. Be sure and check out the Frontier League and your Evansville Otters on Flow Sports, the official streaming partner of the Frontier League. Never miss a game and follow along all the way to the championship. First pitch to Jack Harris, misses outside for a ball. Just visit EvansvilleOtters.com for links to watch and subscribe today for all Frontier League and Flow Sports content. Happy to be on Flow Sports today. The 1-0, swing and a miss, 1 ball and 1 strike. Big thanks to Joshua Henricks back in Texas with Flow Sports, as well as Joey Beardsley here with the Crushers here in Avon for helping get me on the air on the TV side. The 1-1, swing and a miss, 1-2 to Harris. Beamer working quickly, big kick and a fire, popped up by Harris right side, and that's headed back into the stands. Beamer walking back behind the rubber, grabs the rosin bag, getting a little bit of a grip on a warm day. 1-2, slider outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 6 runs on 10 hits today for the Crushers. Put a runner in scoring position in all but 1 inning so far today. 2-2. Outside and skipping back to the backstop, a full count. Otters so far can just not figure out how to win here at Mercy Hill Stadium. Were swept for the only time all season just 2 weeks ago. Looking for their first win here in Avon. The payoff, breaking ball at the letters, strike 3 called. Sinker from Beamer, and it sunk perfectly right at the top of the zone for a strike. That was a beautiful pitch by Beamer, just 77 miles per hour to Freeze Harris. 2 outs, and it brings up Kemwell Thomas Rivera. Beamer looking for a 1-2-3 inning and give the Otters a shot going to the 8th. Beamer home, first pitch inside to Thomas Rivera. Otters will have the heart of the lineup coming up in the 8th. 3, 4, and 5, Baez, Reyes, and Phillips. 1-0 at the letters for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Sun continuing to shine across the whole diamond. A hazy sky with some big clouds off to our south. 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Knock on wood, but looking like pretty great weather. A little hot, but overall mostly sunny skies all week on the Otters road trip. First here in Cleveland and then out to the New York City areas. The Otters take on the Boulders in Pomona. 2-1. Breaking ball on the inner third for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Have another morning game tomorrow. Another 10:05 Central Time first pitch before evening baseball on Thursday. 2-2. Outside and a full count to Thomas Rivera. Beamer takes a big deep breath. And the payoff pitch. Lined into left field. Braun racing in, and it will one hop in front of him. Bobbles the ball. And picks it back up. Gets it back in. Thomas Rivera will hold it first. And the Crushers just not letting the Otters pitching go down easy today. Second hit of the day for Thomas Rivera on a base hit to left. Lake Erie, for continued struggling offense, looks fantastic today. 11 hits now for the Crushers. Jared Watkins, lefty all-star shortstop, to the plate with 2 outs. 6-4 lead for Lake Erie. Beamer home. First pitch misses low for a ball. Lake Erie's done it all today. Outside of walks, only have 1 walk, but they've just found lots of ways to get hits. Had 3 solo home runs off Justin Watland, the 1-0. Grounded right side. Beamer down to a knee to block it down with the glove. Fields it and steps on the bag for the 3rd out of the inning. John Beamer has played a good first base today for the Otters. So Beamer and Evansville work around a 2-out base hit for a scoreless 7th. We go to the 8th. Do the Otters have a comeback in them? 6-4, the Crushers lead the Otters on the Otters Digital Network. Lake Erie 6, Evansville 4. We move to the top of the 8th inning here from Mercy Health Stadium. Trevor Kunsel, the new pitcher, into the ball game for the Crushers. He's been used 30 times already this year for Lake Erie, 30 in the 3rd innings pitched. Another strong arm having a strong season for the Crushers, 3.26 ERA. A walk-6 innings pitched at 1.3, 34 strikeouts for Kunsel to just 15 walks. Otters saw him a couple times as well, once in the last series. Kunsel worked 1 clean inning with 2 strikeouts and just 1 hit allowed. He has been strong of late, not allowed a run in his last 3 outings. Faces Jeffrey Baez to lead off the 8th. The first pitch home swung on and missed by Baez, 0-1. Otters 7 hits today, 3 runs in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd. 0-1. Misses low. 1 ball and 1 strike to Baez. Jeffrey is 1 for 3 today, a double back in the 3rd inning. 1-1. Grounded left side, over to the left, the third baseman Urkusin to glove it, throw across the diamond in time to beat Baez by 2 strides, 1 out. The Otters have just 1 base runner since the first batter of the 4th inning. It's a base hit by Skinder. Otters retired in order in the 5th and the 7th. And they're a great start to the game for the Bats. Evansville's offense has fallen asleep. First pitch home to the righty Reyes, inside for a ball, 1-0. Kunsel working on the far left side of the rubber. Big kick and a throw. Reyes skies one into left center field, over the center fielder White, and he makes the catch. 2 outs. Lake Erie pitching staff that has really settled in. Fielding corps as well after 2 errors in the 2nd inning, looking awfully shaky. They've calmed down, and the Otters with no momentum at all right now offensively. Dakota Phillips 0 for 3 today. Lefty batter shows bunt and pulls it back. Misses low for a ball, 1-0. Otters just a game and a half back of first place Gateway, trying to continue to make up some ground this week after a really good last week in the standings, as Phillips takes inside for a strike, 1-1. Otters going 4-2 in their 6-game homestand last week and getting help with 6 straight losses for Gateway. The 1-1 swing and a miss, 1-2. The 1-2 home, swing and a miss. Console blows a fastball by Phillips. The Otters retired in order again. 7 straight Otters retire in order. Move to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 6-4 Crushers on the Otters Digital Network.
Tyler Vale, 36, yeah.
Bottom of the 8th inning from Mercy Hill Stadium in Avon, Ohio. Northeast Ohio, about 30 minutes outside of Cleveland. The Crushers 3 outs away from winning again here against the Otters at Mercy Hill Stadium. Evansville swept 2 weeks ago here in Avon, and they're in trouble again, trailing 6-4 in the bottom of the 8th. Tyler Vale into the ballgame for the Otters, looking to keep it a 2-run game. 6-year Otter righty, 1.88 ERA on the season, 14 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed just 3 earned runs all season long, but did allow a run in his last outing against the Crushers. It was in that wild Wednesday loss for the Otters, where Vale walked 4 batters in his 3 innings pitched, but ended up eating up some good innings for the Otters. Just the 3rd appearance for Vale since the All-Star break. His first pitch misses low to the catcher, Jackson Pritchard. Facing the bottom of the lineup here for Lake Erie. Vale fires home. Misses inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Pitching change brought to you by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at 2319 North Green River Road or call at 812-475-9000. Throw home, breaking ball on the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 count to Pritchard. Nobody on in the bottom of the 8th. The Otters trailing 6-4. Vale delivers home. Foul tipped off the end of the bat and ricocheting off the glove of Phillips. Pritchard stays alive. Lake Erie has scored 5 unanswered. The Otters offense going cold after a 3-run second inning. Evansville had 2 early 3-run leads, but the Crushers have dominated this game over the last hour and a half. The 1-2 outside, check swing by Pritchard. He held up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Vale readies and throws. Outside corner, strike 3 called. Pritchard strikes out looking. Tyler Vale starts his outing off with a strikeout. It's brought to you by German American Bank. 1 away. It brings up Scout Knox, the first baseman. Otters will have 6, 7, and 8 coming up in the 9th. Dyer, Skinder, and Khalil. Skinder's had a really good day. He's 2 for 3 today, 2 base hits. First pitch home to Knotts. Misses outside, 1-0. Six-game road trip for the Otters. Their last really long road trip, the 1-0. On the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Otters have only one more trip after this that will have a bus ride over 5 hours. And it will be a two-parter similar to this, but only half the length, the 1-1. Popped up and out of play. Otters will go to Florence and Washington. Back-to-back series in August, but this is going to be their last really long road trip of the year, starting here in Lake Erie, a 7-hour bus ride, and then they have 7 more hours on an overnight bus trip Thursday night into Friday, headed to Pomona, New York, just outside of New York City. 1-2. Popped up high in the air on the edge of the infield. Khalil and Skinder looking up. It's Skinder, the second baseman, who makes the catch with his heels on the edge of the center field turf, and there's 2 outs. Right now the difference for Lake Erie, a 2 RBI, 2-out base hit for John Dito Trump, the DH, who was just activated off the injured list today. He has a solo home run as well. Those were the go-ahead runs for the Crushers. 2 outs, nobody on for the number 9 batter, lefty Austin White. First pitch home, strike at the knees. Otters have not won a game all season when trailing going into the 9th inning. They trail 6-4 here in the bottom of the 8th. 0-1. Misses low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Okay, 8 Otter batters retired in a row. Evansville offense that's gone silent. 1-1 from Vail. Chopped right side. Skinder, the second baseman, working over to his right to glove it. Good throw to first in time to beat the sprinting White by a stride. We move to the 9th inning. Dyer, Skinder, Khalil coming up for the Otters, looking for a comeback on a Tuesday afternoon. They trail 6-4 after 8 on the Otters Digital Network. Top of the 9th inning from Avon, Ohio, a 6-4 lead for the Crushers over the Otters. Evansville trying to complete its first ninth inning comeback of the season. They're going to need 2 to tie, 3 to take the lead, and it won't be easy against the closer for the Crushers. Alexis Rivero has been excellent on the season for Lake Erie. The righty pitcher making his 10th appearance of the season. He has 5 saves, 9 1/3 innings pitched, a .96 ERA, 6 strikeouts for Rivero to 6 walks. He's allowed just 4 hits and 1 run all year. Dealt with an injury for much of the middle half of the season, just his 3rd appearance since early June. First pitch home, swung on and driven into right by John Dyer. Coming in the right fielder, Jack Harris. He makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out for Rivero. Brings up Ethan Skinder with 1 away here in the 9th. The Otters trailing by 2. Skinder leads the Otters offense today with 2 hits. Base hit in the 3rd, added a base hit in the 6th. Can he spark an Evansville comeback? Rivero on the right side of the rubber delivers. Skinder takes a strike all the way. Rivero, a former longtime farmhand to the Phillies, made it all the way up to AAA. And in his 2nd year with Lake Erie, when healthy, he has been electric. The 0-1 misses high. Skinder checks his swing, but held up. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sun continuing to shine under hazy skies on this Tuesday afternoon. Black glove, high set for Rivero. Comes home. Skinder chops one foul and bouncing off the roofing of the Crusher dugout. 1-2 count to Skinder with Khalil on deck. 1 out, nobody on in the top of the 9th, and Evansville trailing 6-4. One and 1. Misses high. 2 balls and 2 strikes is the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Skinder. Ethan with his first multi-hit day since before the All-Star break. Looking for one more hit here in the 9th. The 2-2. Lined high in the air to left center field. Over is Isaacs Jr. and White, the center fielder, will call him off and make the catch in left center field. And Evansville down to their last batter. That is 9 Otters retired in a row, dating back to the 6th inning. George Khalil comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3 today. Started his morning with a base hit, a bunt base hit, back in the 2nd inning. Rivero comes home. Khalil takes outside for a ball, 1-0. Rivero's need just 5 pitches to get the first 2 outs. Looking for his 6th save of the season. Big righty comes home. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Breaking ball, fooling Khalil. One and 1. Chopped off the end of the bat and foul. And Khalil down to his last strike. 6 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors for Lake Erie. The Otters 4 runs on 7 hits and no errors, but they have just 1 hit since the 3rd inning. Khalil calls time, resets the batting gloves, taps the back half of the plate, and resets in the right-handed batter's box. Rivero ready on the mound. The 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2. Lined right side, backhanded glove by the third baseman Mercuson. Picks it back up, throw to first in time to beat Khalil, and that's the ball game. The misery of the Otters continues at Mercy Health Stadium as Evansville drops its 4th game of the season here in Avon, Ohio. Final score, Lake Erie 6, Evansville 4. Otters just cannot figure out what's going wrong here in Avon. The Otters dropped their 4th game of the season here in Avon, and they fall to just 2-5 against the last place Crushers this season. So the Otters fall to 34-26 on the year. They're now 2 games back of first place Gateway, who plays later this evening. Crushers improved to 26-35. They move actually a half game out of last place now. 10.5 back, a half game up on Florence for last place in the Frontier League West. Well, it was a tale really of the first 3 innings for the Otters, and then the last 7 innings looked completely different. Otters mounted 4 runs on 6 hits in the first 3 innings. A great start offensively, but it all went away over the last 7 innings. The Otters had just 2 base runners from the 4th inning onward. No walks, just 2 base hits. Never got a runner in scoring position, and really couldn't mount anything offensively after those first 2 innings. Justin Watland will take the loss for the Otters. Watland also just never had his best stuff today for the Otters. Gave up 3 solo home runs, but what ended up being the difference for him was his last inning of work in the 6th, a leadoff base hit and a double. Chase Watland, John Beamer could not get the last out of the inning as John Dito Trump lined a 2 RBI base hit into center field, and that was the game-winning hit for the Crushers. So Lake Erie earns the win, 6 runs on 11 hits, 3 home runs for the Crushers. Got 1 in the second, 2 in the third. Those were all on solo home runs. Added 1 more run in the fourth to get closer, and actually that was to tie the game, and then the 2 runs in the sixth for the Crushers, the go-ahead runs. So the Otters fall today, final score again of 6-4. They'll look to break this struggles here in Avon, Ohio, with the middle game of the series tomorrow morning, 10:05 Central Time, first pitch. The righty Zach Smith goes for the Otters, and Evansville will face the excellent righty pitcher J.D. Hammer for Lake Erie for the 3rd time this season. We'll be on the air at 9:55 Central Time. That's just before 11 o'clock local time here in Avon, Ohio. The final totals again for tonight, or this afternoon: Lake Erie 6 runs on 11 hits and 2 runs. The Otters 4 runs on 7 hits and no errors. That does it for the broadcast this afternoon. Appreciate you taking some of your afternoon to tune into Otters baseball here on Flow Sports and the Otters Digital Network. Again, big thank you to everyone with Flow Sports, Joshua Henricks, our producer, Joey Beardsley, our director here in Avon. I've been Griffin Epstein. Have a great rest of your Tuesday afternoon. We'll talk to you again tomorrow morning as the Otters fall here in Avon, 6-4. So long from Northeast.